News with Katrina Smith.
Welcome and good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Sunday, December 28th. I'm Katrina Smith. Meteorologist James DeFazio is in the Weather Center. Little bit of a break today for you, James. You know, like we're not seeing that wintry mix until a little bit later, but it is on its way.
Yes, and more behind it as well. We're going to have a very active week of weather, several consecutive systems. We have winter storm watches in effect because after tomorrow's rainfall, again, we're going to have freezing rain this evening that changes to plain rain. After that rainfall, we change back over to snow, and we're going to see a widespread lake effect snow event. Winter storm watches in effect for Oneida, Madison, Onondaga. Winter storm warnings already in place for Oswego and Lewis counties across the North Country. Winter weather advisories in place for all of central New York and points eastward. That is for the freezing rain that's going to arrive between 4 and 6 p.m. this evening. It's a very chilly start to the day, single digits for most of us. A few areas have climbed out of single digits, but it hasn't gotten very far above single digits. It was very chilly coming in this morning. It looks chilly outside on the downtown Utica cam off the Nexus Center. It was a very pretty sunrise this morning. The sun just above the building now, just peeking those rays across in front of the camera. The Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, quiet and dry, and it's going to stay that way through the morning hours and through the first few hours of the afternoon. 14 degrees with sunny skies, a light breeze. Breezes will be light, but we're tracking windier conditions to return as we head through the week, or as we head into the beginning of this upcoming week. Highs today are going to be in the low 30s with mostly cloudy skies. However, freezing rain this afternoon, 28 to 32 degrees. When that rain arrives between 4 and 6 p.m., we're going to break all of that down coming up in the full weather, as well as take a look at that snowfall. Katrina?
Thank you so much, James. A ceasefire is officially.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Sunday morning. We're tracking calm conditions for now, and we're going to have to enjoy them while they last, because once things escalate later this afternoon, they're going to stay rather unsettled for several consecutive days. Take a look at downtown Utica, where we're seeing a beautiful sunrise this morning above calm conditions, although it is frigid out there. Most of us waking up to temperatures in the single digits. Luckily, we are going to slowly warm up throughout the day today. Calm conditions for most of the day. The wintry mix and freezing rain does not arrive until after 4 p.m. From 4 to 6 p.m., that freezing rain arrives, and then it changes to plain rain by Monday morning. Really, for most of us, with the exception of extreme elevations of Hamilton County, it changes over by 4 a.m. Winter weather alerts, we have a mess on here. It looks like we drew with a crayon all over here. We have in the purples here winter weather advisories, Oneida and Madison also under winter weather advisories for the chance for this freezing rain or later this evening. Winter storm watches in effect for Madison, Oneida, Onondaga counties. That is for lake effect snow that's going to start Monday evening and continue through the week, through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, several consecutive days of lake effect snow, which is why we have winter storm warnings in effect already for the Tug Hill Plateau. Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, quiet, dry, quiet as a mouse for now, and we're going to have to enjoy how this looks, because once things arrive this afternoon, and we're going to see active weather for several consecutive days. Our ice accumulation map predicting a couple tenths of an inch from Utica and points northeastward. You can basically draw a dividing line across Oneida County and points northeastward. That is really going to be where we see the ice accretion. From points southwest of Utica, not going to pick up any freezing rain that actually sticks or accumulates to anything. Areas northeast of Utica see the freezing rain the longest. The Mohawk Valley holds on to some of those colder temperatures longer than other locations. Projected rainfall in the wake of the freezing rain, we change over to plain rain, and we see a widespread 1 to 1.5 inches of rain, a true soaker across central New York that's going to do a number on the snowpack. But unfortunately, there's more snow to come. Freezing rain arrives right around 5 to 6 p.m. There's that pink showing up there. It changes over to plain green overnight as we see heavy rain through the night and into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, a little bit of a break in between the arrival of the cold front, but once this cold front arrives Monday afternoon and Monday evening, we see snow showers, very, very gusty winds, and very, very snowy conditions for several consecutive days. Gusty winds so much so that as we head into tomorrow night, winds get, or I should say as we head into Monday night, we see winds in excess of 40 miles per hour. I have this stopped here. Yeah, that's 50 mile per hour gusts showing up on our map at Tuesday at 1:30 a.m. As we head into Wednesday morning, incredibly gusty winds. Skycast today showing those calm conditions. That wintry mix arrives right around 5 p.m. It changes to plain rain overnight. Plain rain continues through the morning hours, and then it transitions back over to snow tomorrow night. One thing we want to highlight on the 7-day forecast, with it transitioning back over from rain to snow, we're going to see a little bit of a flash freeze. We're going to go from the low 40s on Monday all the way down into the mid-teens. So anything that goes untreated by Tuesday morning will be slippery. Then we see several consecutive days of lake effect snow. Lake effect snow possible all the way Tuesday through Saturday. A prolonged lake effect snow event, and it looks like we are going to see significant accumulations by the time all is said and done. We'll have snowfall maps out later this evening. Any guesses, Katrina?
Before we get to this, I feel like you need to give us a shovel and snow removal cast because I'm over here looking at your forecast like, okay, when do I have to get out and shovel? When do I have to move this? When do I have to hunker down anything that could blow away? There's just too much.
There's a lot. We're going on a little bit of a roller coaster.
Right.
I could do a 10-minute weather right now
Absolutely.
based with what's going on.
So, okay, but back to the trivia. I will go with Canada.
Sweden.
I should always listen to
Canada
the director.
has one, and it is
know how to
open for
spell
most of
Sweden,
the year,
though.
but they do close it every once in a while. There is an ice hotel in Sweden that prides themselves on being open 365 days a year. They harvest ice from local waterways during late spring, or I should say late winter, early spring, and they build hotels and suites. It's beautiful. It's really cool.
So neat. It doesn't stay that cold here. Up in Saranac Lake, they have the cute little, but that's not year-round.
Yes, and it's not
for the
year-round.
winter
And
carnival.
Canada does that, and most of these countries as well also
But they just
do
can't hold on to it
partial-
year-round.
Yes.
How neat. Okay, thank you so much, James. Well, DPW crews got to work to get those roads cleared after that Clipper system Friday into Saturday. Check out East Utica Saturday afternoon. It was a busy day, but it had to be cleared because of the freezing rain, basically everything that is to come. So yeah, if we thought that was bad, I guess we are just in for it for the rest of the week heading into January. And we'll be back after this. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us for another half hour of News Channel 2 Weekend. Today, I'm Katrina Smith, and we have a lull in the wintry weather for at least most of today, but quite a bit of weather sets in later on.
I have the
in
kitchen
evening.
sink in the forecasts right now.
What I said earlier is we need you to lay out exactly what we need to do and when.
We
with this
do.
forecast.
We're going to break out a timeline, a piece-by-piece timeline for you. We're going to have several graphics online
Absolutely.
available as well, and we'll show them during during full weather. But we have winter weather advisories in place, some of which are hiding underneath the winter storm watches. Winter storm watches and winter storm warnings in place for lake effect snow that's going to be in place from Monday evening through the entirety of the week. The winter weather advisories are for freezing rain that arrives between 5 and 6 p.m. this evening. Temperatures this morning very chilly. We're in the single digits to low teens across the area. Calm conditions in downtown Utica. A light breeze, as you can see on the flagpole there. That will continue today, but we're not going to see overly gusty conditions until Monday afternoon and Monday evening. Dry weather continues through the morning hours into the beginning of the afternoon, and then things change. 14 with sunny, that light breeze at 9 miles per hour. Highs today in the low to mid 30s, 33 degrees, but it's going to take all day to get there. We're not going to get to 33 degrees until right around midnight. Mostly cloudy during the day today. 28 to 32 this evening as that freezing rain arrives between 4 and 6 p.m. Coming up, we're going to break down the entirety of your forecast as well as talk about that roller coaster Katrina's been alluding to. Katrina.
Thank you so much, James. As the 2020
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Sunday morning. I didn't bring it in with me, but I have the kitchen sink for you for the forecast for today. We have a little bit of everything. Take a look at downtown Utica. We're starting off calm. We're not going to finish that way. Today is the calm before the storm. And unfortunately, that storm is going to continue for the entirety of the upcoming week. We have lake effect snow in the forecast for the entirety of the upcoming week into next weekend. We may still be talking about this lake effect by the time I'm standing here a week from now. Calm conditions for most of the day today. Freezing rain arrives this evening between 4 and 6 p.m. and it changes to plain rain by Monday morning for most areas by 4 a.m. Winter weather alerts, winter weather advisories in place from Oneida County, southward and points eastward for chances for freezing rain, winter storm watches for Oneida and Madison, winter storm warnings for the Tug Hill Plateau for that lake effect snow that comes in behind this rainfall. Dry weather on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, that continues through the morning hours today into the beginning of the afternoon. That changes right around 4:30 to 5 p.m. when freezing rain begins to approach from the west. We all see a couple tenths of accumulation if you're from Utica to the Mohawk Valley and into the Adirondacks. From Utica and points to the east, going to see a little bit of ice accumulation, not enough to cause branches to snap, but enough to create very slick conditions and that you're not going to want to be out on the roadways. We're also going to see quite a bit of rainfall behind that, 1 to 1.5 inches of rainfall. We'll notice creeks are going to rise quite steadily. We're going to lose quite a bit of snowpack. We should avoid flooding, but it will be a close call. We're going to keep a very close eye on that. Taking a look at the bigger picture, you can see the freezing rain showing up there in the pink. It changes over to plain green old rain overnight, but we get plenty of steady to heavy rain overnight. Monday morning, we start with showers. A bit of a break in the action during the middle of the day, but as the cold front works through, snow showers return, widespread snow showers, strong lake effect. You can see we have that multi-lake connection that connects all the way back down through. That indicates a very strong lake effect snow band. We're also going to drop from above freezing to below freezing. Travel impacts. Tonight, freezing rain, high impacts. Tomorrow, I have Sunday PM in there. Monday AM. Monday AM, just some heavy rain. Monday, as we head into Monday evening, is where we see that snow really arrive, and we'll show that flash freeze. That wintry mix arrives right around 4:30 to 5 p.m. So it changes over to plain rain overnight. We get calmer conditions. We get calmer conditions in terms of less wintry weather overnight, but unfortunately we go right back to winter tomorrow. That cold front works through very quickly. Temperatures plunge. We go from the low 40s all the way down into the teens. Widespread heavy snow Monday evening. A look at your 7-day forecast. After a very mixed bag of a day, we go from a wintry mix to plain rain back to snow on Monday. We settle into several consecutive days of lake effect snow. This looks like a major lake effect snow event. We are all going to see significant accumulations by the time all is said and done next weekend. I found this fact so interesting. Katrina, do you have any guesses?
I was going to say China, but I'm going with Japan because our director said Japan.
Oh, I didn't change it. But
It's goose feathers.
It's goose feathers again.
Well, no kidding.
Correct answer is Japan. Correct answer is Japan. And the reason for that is there was a guy who noticed that in Japan there were no turkeys, and people wanted turkey for Christmas, so he created something called Kentucky for Christmas, and he created a chicken campaign, and it became a huge cultural tradition.
Wow.
And now it's the 20 to 25% of the money they make in the entire year is just on Christmas Day.
No kidding. That is
In Japan,
fascinating.
yeah.
I'm going to have to take a deep dive and look into that. Thank you so much, James. Well, a beautiful but potentially dangerous explosion is happening on Italy's most active volcano. Triggered an aviation warning, in fact. Mount Etna was blasting ash. Take a look at your screen. I don't know if you find volcanoes as fascinating as I do, but look at that. Just amazing. Intense level there. The scientists issued a red volcano observatory notice warning pilots that That's the highest level of warning for smoke and ash, which is not only a problem for visibility, but it can also cause engine failure if those ash particles melt inside a hot jet engine. Etna's crater is more than 11,000 feet above sea level. Many live stream cameras.
News with Ben Kinney.
Good evening. Freezing rain is coming down across the area as a storm system moves through. It'll be followed by even more winter weather. We've already heard of several accidents on some area roads, so let's head right over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist James DeFazio is over there tracking the latest, and myriad of different colors we're seeing on the radar tonight.
I made the joke this morning that the forecast, I was like, I brought the kitchen sink in with me today.
You literally did, I guess.
We're getting a little bit of everything, and that's going to continue. Right now, we have a warm nose beginning to needle in towards the I-90 corridor, but we're still going to see freezing rain continue for several more hours, and it's going to cause slick conditions. It's why we have winter weather advisories in place for all of central New York. We also now have in the pink winter storm warnings in effect. That's for the lake effect snow that gets ramping up tomorrow night through Wednesday, and we'll talk about that in full weather. Local temperatures, some of us above freezing, but not all of us. It's the temperature, it's the locales across central New York as well as the Mohawk Valley that are holding on to these cold pockets of air the longest. As you look across the southern tier, a little bit warmer, but as to the east, Cooperstown 25 despite it being 34. There are those isolated pockets of colder air, and we're seeing evidence of that on the roadways. Downtown Utica, the roads have been treated, but roads remain slick. This freezing rain will continue to fall. We have rain falling at temperatures below freezing. Anything untreated is turning slick. 28 degrees at Griffiths Rome, just a light breeze at 6 miles per hour. Our traffic flow map was completely green just about 40 minutes ago. That has since changed very quickly. We're seeing a lot of slow goes, even some crawls now showing up across the southern tier. Take it slow if you're traveling. Better yet, if you can, don't travel at all. Tonight, widespread freezing rain. Tomorrow, limited impacts from travel, just from heavy rain. Tomorrow afternoon, we refreeze and we get a widespread snow, another major travel impact. And Tuesday morning, moderate travel impacts with snow. Freezing rain continues this evening with temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s. Coming up, we'll break down the entirety of your snowfall forecast. Ben?
All right, James, thank you very much. National Grid also getting ready for the storm. They've called in extra crews from around the Northeast to help. They are anticipating down lines and power outages as the system moves through. National Grid once again reminding you that if you see down power lines, stay away.
There's enough electricity in a power line to cause a potentially fatal injury. So stay away from a power line. If you see it, call 911. Give us a call at 800-867-5222 and report that.
If the power does go out and you have a generator, make sure you place it as far away from your home as possible. Never run the generator inside the garage or an enclosed space attached to your home. The third annual Downtown Classic in Utica is
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Sunday evening. We're tracking messy weather this evening. Freezing rain has overspread the region, and we're seeing plenty of slick travel across all of central New York. Some of us are going to hang on to those colder temperatures longer than others, but for now, all of us are experiencing freezing rain. Downtown Utica, we can see those raindrops on the camera showing that rain is falling and has begun. Freezing rain will continue. It is slowly warming up. Temperatures are slowly rising. We will notice that we will change back to plain rain overnight. All of us change over to plain rain overnight. Plain rain changes back over to snow tomorrow afternoon, and then there is a hard freeze with snow showers that develop Monday evening that are accompanied with gusty winds that are going to cause blowing and drifting of snow. Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, we have all of the colors. Snow off to the far east, sleet here in the purple, plenty of freezing rain across central New York and the Mohawk Valley. Beginning to see some of that warmer air work into Madison County now. We're seeing that warm nose work down the I-90 corridor. This warm air will eventually make it all the way across I-90 and across into central New York. Ice accumulation for tonight, we're expecting a couple tenths of an inch up to a quarter of an inch of ice for the Mohawk Valley from Utica and points eastward and points northeastward. Areas to the southwest of Utica, not going to see much in the way of ice accumulation. Most of the slickest travel occurs from Utica and points northeastward. We're also going to see widespread heavy rain. 1 to 1.5 inches of rain falls by midday tomorrow, and that's going to create some ponding on roadways. We're not going to see any flooding issues, but we're going to see enough mixed with the snow melt for there to create some travel issues. For tonight, major travel issues due to that freezing rain. Tomorrow, minor travel issues due to the heavy rain and ponding of water. Tomorrow afternoon and evening, that hard freeze with snow showers makes for very difficult travel. Tuesday morning, moderate travel impacts with snowfall continuing. Looking at the bigger picture, this Clipper system continues to approach from the west, and it's bringing us freezing rain. This area of low pressure goes off to our north, which brings in a warm sector, brings in warm air. We all climb above freezing tonight. Unfortunately, a cold front accompanies behind it, and we see much colder conditions, a rapid drop in temperature. Highs Monday go from the low 40s all the way down through the 20s during the evening hours, lows Monday night in the teens. A hard freeze, and then we have a substantial, significant, prolonged lake effect snow event. Lake effect snow continues Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday, through the day on Wednesday, into Thursday, several consecutive days of heavy snow. And again, I want to mention that while we see blustery conditions tonight and tomorrow as well, we don't see wind advisory criteria winds until Monday evening. After 6 p.m. tomorrow, 30 to 50 mile per hour gusts are possible. Overnight, Monday night into Tuesday morning, 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts primarily across the southern tier are possible, and isolated power outages are possible, as well as we have NYSEG on standby, as Ben mentioned earlier. Snowfall accumulation as we head towards Monday. I'll have a map out, a hand-drawn map eventually, but right now this is what we're thinking by the time you wake up Tuesday morning. In general, 2 to 4 inches of snow, a couple of higher amounts of 4 to 7 inches across the Tug Hill, as well as some of the hills of southern Madison County. Skycast tonight showing that widespread heavy rain. That heavy rain changes over to snow tomorrow afternoon. Right around 1 to 3 p.m. we change back over to snow, and then we see a rapid drop in temperature. We go from the 40s down into the low teens with widespread heavy snow. And this is a prolonged lake effect snow event, several consecutive days of heavy snow. Tonight, this evening, temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s with freezing rain. Tomorrow, rain changes to snow, highs in the low 40s. A look at your 7-day forecast. It's a lot of the same, aside from the rain and the wind tonight and tomorrow. Snow, 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 and more snow. Lake effect snow through the weekend into next weekend.
News with Ben Kinney.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Meteorologist James DeFazio joining me right off the gate here. When we first went on the air at 6 o'clock...
This is not what we expected.
No. Well, for starters, no. But this was just moving in. Where it's now, what, 12:01, 6 and some odd hours later.
Correct.
And it's moving out.
Just moving out, and we're still seeing isolated areas of freezing rain. We're still not seeing all of us over to plain rain. We're still seeing areas north and east of Utica hanging on to those colder temperatures. We're going to continue to see those cold temperatures hang on a little bit longer for areas north and to the east of Utica. Herkimer County, north central Oneida County, seeing very, very nasty conditions, very icy conditions. We're getting a lot of reports of trees down and wires down as a result of the weight of this ice. We got about twice as much ice as was predicted, as was expected. Winter weather alerts remain in effect. The advisories are in effect partially for this this ice storm that we have right now, but they're primarily in effect for the lake effect snow that we're going to have for the entirety of the upcoming week. Your local temperatures across the North Country above freezing. We're not seeing any icing across the North Country. It's the Mohawk Valley and extreme isolated pockets of Oneida County that are still below freezing. 29 in Little Falls, 20 29 in Dolgeville, a little bit warmer across the southern tier, Afton, the one place that is hanging on to freezing at 32 degrees. Downtown Utica has finally climbed above freezing. It was very icy. We couldn't even see off the Nexus cam earlier today. The Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar showing plenty of pink still across Herkimer County. Things will begin to improve as the night progresses. 33 with rain. We are finally above freezing. Again, temperatures continue to climb. We just reset after midnight, so this just reset to the next 12 hours. But temperatures continue to rise over midnight. Coming up, we'll have a full look at your Storm Tracker 2 forecast. Ben?
All right, James, thank you very much. It was a mess out there, and travel advisories were issued in several areas because of the slick roads. This was how it looked earlier this evening along Genesee Street. Utica police at one point asked that drivers stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary. Multiple accidents reported around the area, as well as power outages. Here are the latest numbers. In Oneida County, now over 1,400 without power, 1,485. That was as of the last check just a few seconds ago. Herkimer County, 1,163 residents without power. Down in Otsego County, only 28 power outages reported. National Grid is prepared for the storm. They've called in extra crews from around the Northeast to help. And as they anticipated, and as we just mentioned, there are outages as a result of the ice. National Grid reminds you that if you see down power lines, stay far away.
There's enough electricity in a power line to cause a potentially fatal injury. So stay away from a power line. If you see it, call 911. Give us a call at 800-867-5222 and report that.
And to know, if you are without power tonight and you have a generator, make sure you run that generator far away from your house as possible. Don't run it inside the garage. That raises the risk of carbon monoxide. New tonight, a Frankfort woman is...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Sunday evening, early Monday morning. We're tracking a mixed bag of weather. We're having an icy situation right now, and things are warming up, and most of us are climbing above freezing. Some of us hanging on to some of those slicker spots longer than others, primarily north and east of Utica. Although, as we head into tomorrow morning, we're going to transition over to plain rain, and as it continues to slowly warm overnight. That plain rain does change back over to snow Monday afternoon. We have a flash freeze. Temperatures drop all the way from the low 40s down into the teens tomorrow night with a hard freeze and snow showers and very windy, blustery conditions with those snow showers. Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. A lot of pink on here indicating freezing rain. Areas off to the north and east of Utica are still at or near freezing or just below freezing. Southwest of Utica, warmer air is working in. This will continue to work into central New York as the night progresses. It did take a little bit longer to get here than I originally anticipated. Travel impacts tonight, major impacts due to freezing rain, minor impacts tomorrow morning due to heavy rain, major impacts tomorrow evening due to that freeze as well as the blowing snow and snowfall, and then heavy snow continues Tuesday morning, moderate impacts Tuesday morning as well. This Clipper system will continues to work across central New York and brings us widespread rain overnight tonight. A quick break in the action tomorrow morning before a cold front arrives. Wind advisory goes into effect at 10 a.m. and then it stays very blustery. Rain changes over to snow, and we see snow blowing around for several consecutive days. We have a several-day, multi-day lake effect event that looks to be relatively significant for our area, as do the winds. We're looking at wind speeds of 40 to 45 miles per hour possible Monday evening, Tuesday into Tuesday afternoon. From Monday night through Tuesday night, it looks very windy. Snowfall forecasts, very early for us to draw a map at this time because we're still ironing out the exact wind direction. However, I want to give you an idea of what our IBM model is thinking. In general, a 4 to 12 inch snowfall across the area by Wednesday afternoon. Skycast showing that rain continues tonight, otherwise mostly cloudy conditions. switches over to snow during the midday tomorrow, and then temperatures free fall. We go from the 40s all the way down into the teens, and we see several consecutive days of lake effect snow. I'll look at your 7-day forecast. Again, very windy conditions arrive tomorrow midday and continue through the day on Tuesday, and we are in for a multi-day lake effect snow event. Chances for lake effect snow every single day of the forecast, Tuesday all the way through the week into the weekend,